Social media is filled with cinematic clips of pilots strapping into fighter jets and experiencing the high-speed thrill of aviation. But step away from the corporate aerospace centers, and the reality of a grassroots facility like the South Yorkshire Aircraft Museum is quite different. It sits on a wide historic footprint at the former RAF Doncaster. The ground it occupies is deeply authentic. This site hosted the very first aviation meeting in England back in 1909, giving it a legacy that predates both world wars. If you have limited time on a weekend, you have to decide, is this museum a genuine hidden gem, or is it just a dusty niche attraction? The financial contrast is significant. A family ticket to this museum is £21 with free parking. Typical national museums easily exceed £70 just to get through the door, with paid parking on top of that. Evaluating its value requires dropping standard museum expectations and matching the museum's specific trade-offs to your own priorities. For the hardcore aviation enthusiast, the immediate draw is the incredible volume of rare Cold War aircraft packed into a very limited physical space. You stand directly beneath the massive wings of the Handley Page Victor, a V-bomber that served as Britain's nuclear deterrent. The volunteer team has managed to preserve high-tier relics of immense scale, including the iconic camouflaged Avro Vulcan. But preserving over 150 years of aviation history in a few hangars creates a visually cluttered environment. This quadrant chart plots exhibit density against photography difficulty, landing the museum in the top right. Finding a clean, isolated photo angle without a wing blocking your shot is incredibly difficult. Purists must decide if this sheer volume of history outweighs imperfectly framed shots. In this environment, visual chaos is the price you pay for unmatched, unfiltered access to the airframes. The operational model here is entirely grassroots. You are walking into a working restoration site where veteran volunteers spend their time overhauling engines and airframes. They work to guard the specific military history of this site, which served as a crucial operational base during the Second World War. Because of this model, you trade high-tech multimedia displays for unscripted technical conversations. The exhibits here emphasize raw human depth. The Falklands War display documents the conflict through the specific stories and artifacts of the individuals who were on the ground in 1982. Visitors can walk up to active restoration bays and hear hyper-specific mechanical details directly from the former engineers working on the planes. The museum gives up high-tech gloss to prioritize authentic human storytelling and active, hands-on preservation. For the family trip planner, the experience is defined by the museum's tactile open cockpit policy. It is a rare environment where kids are allowed to physically climb into military machinery, sit in the pilot seat, and grab the flight controls. This is unfiltered access to raw hardware, like the massive nose cone of the English Electric Lightning Interceptor. Navigating these tight, older cockpits requires agility. While 95% of the site is accessible, squeezing into specific airframes isn't possible for wheelchair users. The setting is also historically authentic. You are moving through original wooden RAF buildings and wartime Bellman hangars. Because these buildings are uninsulated, they are notoriously freezing. You need to pack heavy layers for your family, even on a warm summer day. Well-behaved dogs are allowed on site, which eliminates a common friction point and extra cost for a weekend day trip. Families get an interactive playground for £21, provided you prepare for it like a rugged outdoor expedition rather than a climate-controlled leisure center. The South Yorkshire Aircraft Museum succeeds specifically because it ignores the modern museum trend of roping off the history it preserves. To decide if you should make the drive to Doncaster, look at this decision tree flowchart. It all depends on your specific priorities. If you are managing a strict budget, or you have tactile learners who want to climb inside the exhibits, you should plan a visit immediately. If you require clean, isolated photographs, or you expect a climate-controlled environment with a full-service cafe, you should skip this museum. If you are a military history buff, go, provided you prioritize talking to the volunteer mechanics to hear their technical first-hand accounts. This lack of corporate polish is what makes the affordable, barrier-free access to history possible in the first place.